live at the Assembly Hall in Champaign-Urbana. And now there are six teams left on the March Madness road to the 1988 Boys Class A State Basketball Championship. Good evening, I'm Frank Bassoni, and welcome back to our tournament. This afternoon, Pana and St. Elmo advanced, and tonight we have 4 teams with combined records of 113 victories and only 10 losses, including number 1 against number 2. Let's take a look at our matchups in the quarterfinal round tonight. First, the Panthers of Lena-Winslow are 26-3. They take on the powerful Broncos of Walther Lutheran, 29-3. Then the number 2 rated Watsika, 28-2. Fire their guns at number 1, Pickneyville, 30-2. Now for more on tonight's games, here are my colleagues, Art Kimball and Coach Ed Butkovich.
From courtside at the Assembly Hall, Art Kimball along with Coach Ed Butkovich from Mount Pulaski. Ed, this is supposed to be the power side of the bracket tonight. The rated ball club's ready to go to it.
Well, we saw a little bit of power this afternoon, so they match up with what we saw this afternoon. We're in for an exciting ball game again tonight.
Well, indeed, that's true, and Walther Lutheran really has lost only 1 ball game to a Class A school. They lost to Wheaton Christian by 2. They lost to Rockford Boylan and Maine West, both AA schools. And, of course, Lena-Winslow, a team that owns a big win over a ball club that we watched lose here this afternoon, but not by much. Forreston. They beat Forreston by 15.
Well, I know earlier in the year, and this should be a good ball game again tonight. I think we got some good matchups. Lena-Winslow plays good defense. They change their defenses a lot. And we know that Walter Luther's got a good offensive ball club, and it should be a good matchup.
Well, Frank Bassoni standing by at courtside with the skipper of the Walther Lutheran Broncos, Keith Peterson. So, Frank, take it away.
And I just want to wish her God's blessing and get well soon so we can get back to normal.
Well, she's watching tonight on Channel 39 along our network stations, and we wish her very well, of course. Now tell us about your Walther Lutheran team. We'd like to have our fans understand some of your star players in your system.
Okay, well, first of all, we got an all-state player in number 32, Brian Hill. He's about a 6'4" guard that can shoot from the perimeter, and he can also play in the post. He's got great quickness. And then our inside player is 6'6", Andrew Amaya, who does a great job on the boards. And then our other 3 players that start just complement them perfectly.
Talk about the team that came from a record that was unbelievable 2 years ago until the final 8 in the Assembly Hall.
I think all along we just had great kids in the program, and I think that you know, the attitude has carried over, and it's just a matter of getting them a little bit better players.
Tell us what problems Lena-Winslow poses for you tonight.
I think their size in terms of their physical builds is a kind of team that has given us trouble.
St. Elmo and Pana advanced today. Did that surprise you?
Not really. I haven't seen any. I didn't see either of the teams play until today, so it was no surprise to me.
Your Broncos, what would you like the tempo? Where would you like the score if you're going to be successful tonight?
In the 80s.
In the 80s, that's often moving, isn't it not?
Yeah, well, we've scored that many, and we're averaging about 72, 73 points a game, so it's within the realm of possibility for us.
Congratulations on your season, and best wishes tonight in the tournament.
Thanks, Frank.
That's Keith Peterson, the coach of the Broncos of Walther Lutheran. We'll be back at the Assembly Hall. One of your network sponsors is Case IH.
For more performance. Magnum Performance. Magnum means more. With new 18-speed full power shift transmissions for maximum performance. Magnum Performance. 20% more working speeds than the leading competitor. New transmissions, plus new engines and cabs. All new. All Magnum. Magnum tractors. Tractors that will do more for you.
To the marriage of meat and bun.
You can cut the time it takes to make a burger. You can cut the time it takes to cook one. And in the end, you can cut the heart right out of a burger. All in the name of good business. Well, at Hardee's, we put a little extra care into each hamburger we serve, so we can make this cut in the name of good taste. Because at Hardee's, we're out to win you over.
Back at the Assembly Hall, the coach of the Lena-Winslow Panthers is Dick Laity. And Dick, when did you know that this team had a chance to come to Champaign?
Well, I thought 2 years ago when they were sophomores, they played very well, and we might have a chance to get down here.
Tell us what kind of a team you have. What's your style?
Well, we're very adaptable. We try to do a lot of different things on offense and defense and work our way around till we find something that works well.
What do you think the key to success will be for you tonight if you are to win?
I think we have to control the boards. I don't think we give a lot of second shots.
What about Walther Lutheran? What's their what problems do they pose for you?
Well, Brian Hill's a great player, and Mr. Ayama is an excellent inside player and very big, so we have to stop him.
Congratulations. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Dick Laity of Lena-Winslow. We'll be back at the Assembly Hall with our second quarterfinal match in just a moment. One of your network sponsors, the American Dairy Association of Illinois.
Come on, everybody, do that kick. Help kick, milks that kick. The hard man pours it on real tall. Staying in shape, milk's a part of it all. Milk! From big city slickers to wheat field kickers, America's favorite help kick, milk.
Farm Credit Services salutes the American farmer, a dedicated group of individuals working hard for past and future generations. We at Farm Credit Services recognize the importance of the American farmer and have committed ourselves to deal exclusively in agricultural finance. We're farmer-owned and have been providing money to farmers for generations, in good times and bad, always responding to the changing financial and insurance needs of one of the nation's most important groups, the American farmer. We're here to help and proud to serve you.
Well, the fans still filing into the Assembly Hall here in Champaign. Kind of a good crowd tonight. There were rumors of a sellout. I don't know if that'll come to pass or not, but this afternoon they were 3,000 over last year. The Friday afternoon session with 12,094, the actual turnstile count. So fans are coming in pretty good shape. First game tonight is coming momentarily. Walther Lutheran out of Melrose Park, 29-3. Lena-Winslow out of the Northwest Illinois Conference, 26-3 on the season. And, of course, the winner will move into tomorrow afternoon's lower bracket semifinal. The first game tomorrow will pit Pena against St. Elmo in the upper bracket semifinal. Ready now for the presentation of colors and the playing of our national anthem here in the Assembly Hall. And with that announcement, Steve Adams.
After the presentation of the colors, we ask you to stand and join soloist Bill Olson of the University of Illinois and sing our national anthem, as it is played this evening by the pep band from Flora High School.
An impressive moment in sports, the presentation of colors, the playing of the national anthem, and the color guard from Flora High School here. Now we're set for the introduction of the two ball clubs and, of course, the starting lineups, and once again to Steve Adams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the coaches and players for this third quarterfinal round game featuring the Walther Lutheran Broncos and the Lena-Winslow Panthers. First, let's meet the Broncos of Walther Lutheran from Melrose Park, entering this game with a record of 29 wins and 3 losses. First, introducing the head coach of the Broncos in his 5th season, Keith Peterson.
An alumnus of Concordia College in River Forest.
Assistant coaches, Mike Obshius and Mark Cointoyer. And now the players. Number 10, a 5'10 senior, Randy Riley. Number 20, a 5'8 junior, Randy Melton. Number 22, a 6'3 junior, Dick Legner. Number 24, a 5'6 junior, Bob King. Number 34, a 6'3 senior, Melvin Johnson. Number 40, a 6'3 junior, Steve Belzer. And number 54, a 6'6 junior, Andre Ingram. And now the starting lineup. At 1 forward, a 6'3 junior, 32, Brian Hill.
All-Stater, 25 points in the Super Sectional, averaging 22.8 on the season.
At the other forward, a 6'3 senior, number 44, John Grohl.
Grohl carries a 17-point per game scoring average.
At center, a 6'5 junior, number 50, Andrew Amaya.
15 points in the Super, 18 rebounds.
At 1 guard, a 5'10 senior, number 12, Joe Johnson.
Lightning quick, makes a lot of things happen.
And at the other guard, a 5'11 junior, number 30, Carl Henry.
6.1 scoring average for Henry. Walther Lutheran, 29-3.
The Broncos of Walther Lutheran High School. And now let's meet the Panthers of Lena-Winslow High School, entering this game with a record of 26 wins and 3 losses. First, let's meet the head coach of Lena-Winslow in his 9th season, Dick Laity. The assistant coach, John Wallace.
Laity graduated from Illinois State University in '67.
And now the players. Number 12, a 6'4 junior, Eric Franz. Number 22, a 5'9 junior, Sean Stauffer. Number 24, a 5'9 junior, Doug Dahl. Number 32, a 5'10 senior, Greg Dahman. Number 34, a 6'1 senior, Regan Schultz. Number 42, a 6-foot junior, David Hoppy. And number 44, a 6'1 junior, Andy Madigan. And now, the starting lineup for the Panthers. At 1 forward, a 6'2 senior, number 50, Tony Bonnet.
7.3 average on the season.
At the other forward, a 6'5 senior, 54, John Julius.
25 points in the Super Sectional, 18.6 on the season.
At center, a 6'2 senior, 52, Greg Brogy.
50% shooter from the field, 11-point per game scorer.
At 1 guard, a 6-foot senior, number 14, Matt Morrison.
9.4 average, 57% field goal shooter.
And at the other guard, a 5'10 senior, number 30, Jess Shoemaker.
Averaging 5.5 per all game, Lena-Winslow 26-3.
Those are the Panthers of Lena-Winslow. And now the officials for this 3rd quarterfinal round game, Ted Knapp of Mount Vernon and Jim Maroon of Neoga.
And one of your network sponsors is Country Companies.
With the arrival of the Morrisons' new baby, the flexibility of Country Company's universal life insurance is a big help.
I know it's hard to believe, but you can change the amount of your coverage, even skip payments if you need to.
But why Country Companies?
They've always delivered what they promised.
You got the country behind you.
With Country Company's universal life.
You got the country companies.
Hi, Reg Riverside here. As the expert on hunting down by the river, I help the new Riverside men sell cars in Chillicothe. Bargains are fantastic here any season. We get great service and prices you can afford, plus nobody shoots holes In Riverside's bottom line.
The best is Riverside.
Riverside Chevrolet Oldsmobile, Route 29, Chillicothe.
Well, there you see Lena-Winslow, or Lee Win, as they call themselves, attired in bright gold uniforms, trimmed in black and white. Out comes Walther Lutheran in their Kelly green, trimmed in gold and white. And this shapes up as a very, very interesting contest, to say the least.
Lena's three big boys up front look like a front three in football.
They sure do.
They average over 200 pounds.
Lee Win will need to put those big bodies on the good jumpers from Walther Lutheran as well. Number 50 stepping in to jump. It's Andrew Amaya for Walther Lutheran against Greg Groge, number 52 for Lena-Winslow. As Jim Maroon tosses the basketball in the air, he's from Neoga, the official, and opening jump ball goes to Walther Lutheran. Number 30 out on the left wing is Carl Henry. Here's the point guard, Joe Johnson, as Lena-Winslow setting up in his zone. Out front, roll jumper, comes up shy, and with the rebound is Matt Morrison. Morrison for Lena-Winslow up over the time stripe. He is a senior. 6-footer, 155 pounds, 17-year-old. The Panthers looking at Walther Lutheran in his own defense. Looks like kind of a version of a 1-3-1.
Well, they started out in a 2-1-2, but
There's Brian Hill on the steal. Hill goes to the basket, can't get it down. Rebound, pulled down on the inside by John Julius.
But when the ball went to the other side, the weak side guard slipped down.
So what are we seeing?
Well, it looks like a 1-3-1 now, though, but they're switching around a little bit.
There's the jumper up and in by Julius. John Julius, 6'5", 210-pound senior.
Got a 1-2-2 full court right here with Lena-Winslow.
Lena-Winslow going out after Walther Lutheran's Broncos. The Bronx have the basketball. Carl Henry's number 30. Amaya in the middle. Ball on the floor. Loose. Scraped out of there and stolen. Good defensive job by Greg Groge. Groge brings the ball across. Right side for Lena-Winslow to the baseline. They work inside to Julius. His turnaround. Rebound hauled down by Amaya. Andrew Amaya, 6'5", 210-pound junior, wraps it up. And we have the fans from both schools right behind us, directly behind us, on the perimeter. Walther Lutheran out front. Joe Johnson. Johnson at about 12. Brims the bucket. Lena-Winslow pulls down the rebound. Jeff Shoemaker. Jeff Shoemaker up quickly. On the break, the shot up and in by Matt Morrison.
Got the ball up pretty good on the break here.
Well, Walther Lutheran not getting back real well defensively at this stage. 4-0 ball game. Lena-Winslow on the lead. As Brian Hill brings it across, his three-point effort misfires. And the rebound hauled down by Tony Bonner. Lena-Winslow playing very, very well and limiting Walther Lutheran to one shot here in the early going. As Jess Shoemaker brings it across. Shoemaker being covered by number 30 for Lena-Winslow. That's Carl Henry. Amaya goes out to check off Alan Julius. Hill with the steal. He solos in and dumps it. Brian Hill, the All-State guard forward from Walther Lutheran. We got a 4-2 ball game.
That's why he's an All-Stater.
Here's Julius back quickly for Lena-Winslow. A whistle and a foul. And let's see if they're going to tag the personal foul on. Lineup change for Lena-Winslow already is checking in is Eric France.
Comes a good steal.
And Brian Hill puts her down. Highest percentage shot in basketball.
Not bad.
Personal foul went to Brian Hill, by the way. John Julius in the paint. Won't go. Rebound. Deflected. And Andrew Amaya gets it out of there for Walther Lutheran. Amaya off to Henry. Carl Henry over. Out front to Joe Johnson. Roll is the high post man. Amaya the low post, and putting the ball down is Carl Henry. We're tied at 4. Played just about 3 minutes of the ball game. Lena-Winslow up at the attack as Matt Morrison flies down. The right side to number 52, Greg Groge. This is Morrison backpedaling. Where's Julius? Julius has the ball in the right wing. Cross court to Julius.
Great pass. Shoemaker made a great pass.
Shoemaker over the zone defense to Julius. We got a traveling violation either against Carl Henry or Joe Johnson.
Well, Shoemaker's also an outstanding defensive player, too.
Shoemaker, you mean?
Yeah, Shoemaker, yes.
Yep. Very evenly matched ball game here in the early going. Lena-Winslow with a 6-4 lead. And Matt Morrison trying to move the ball down the right side against Joe Johnson from the side. Shot misfires by Shoemaker. With the basketball is Brian Hill. Hill changing directions off the glass. Second fielder for Brian Hill. The All-Stater from Walther Lutheran with a 22.8 scoring average. We're tied at 6. Pass, Andrew Amaya comes up with a steal. Amaya to Hill. Down the floor quickly to Joe Johnson. Back out now to Hill. Hill gets the ball off to Johnson, to Carl Henry. Henry top of the free throw circle. Looking inside the zone defense. His pass deflected away, and John Julius has the basketball. Julius with the steal for Lena-Winslow.
Good defense.
They play a pretty tough zone. Panthers may be a small school, but they got some physical bodies out there. There's no question about that. Right side, Shoemaker. Off to Brogy. Here's the jumper. Rolls away. Underneath the whistle-stopping play. Let's see how they're going to call it.
You can see why the Broncos like the up-tempo game.
Carl Henry picks up the personal foul. Second team foul on Melrose Park Walther Lutheran. Going to the line, first free throw of the evening, Greg Brogy. Shoemaker goes out. Morrison goes out. Franz is in, and they made another change as well. Check in just a moment. Free throw by Brogy, outer iron. Greg Dahman has come in. So Dahman's team in the backcourt now. Morrison stayed out there. Second throw is up and in. Brogy gets 1 out of 2. Lena-Winslow leading 7-6. Walther Lutheran will inbound the basketball. Here's Carl Henry to Joe Johnson. Back to Henry. A lot of pressure at that 10-second line. Hill lost the ball. Grohl dives in on it, and there to tie him up is Tony Bonnet on the floor. Change the possession rule. It goes over to Lena-Winslow.
Julius covers a lot of territory. He plays a point on full court defense, and when they get it back, he goes inside on that 2-3 defense.
Bringing the ball out quickly is Morrison. A collision and a foul on Brian Hill, and that's his second. Second foul on Brian Hill, and of course he is the one player that Walther Lutheran cannot afford to lose. Tony Bonnet will make the play in. Across the way in front of the radio section here at the Assembly Hall. Quarterfinal round of the Class A state tournament. Matt Morrison bouncing out front against what now is a man-to-man defense being employed by Walther Lutheran. They changed it up defensively. Julius is being covered by Amaya. That'll be an interesting matchup. Top of the circle, the long jumper, outer iron, no good, and Amaya with the rebound. Taking the shot was Eric Franz. Down quickly, pushing the ball up the floor is Joe Johnson. Johnson in the right corner. Goes to Andrew Amaya.
No shot, you!
And a foul. You can hear official Maroon yell, no shot. The foul whistled underneath, and it goes to Greg Dahman. Dick Laity already going to his bench fairly extensively here in the early going.
Yes. Amaya averages a little over 11 rebounds a ball game.
Yeah, he's a real bear. He had 18 boards in the super sectional.
Unusual out of bounds play right here.
Walther Lutheran beat Kankakee Bishop McNamara in the super. It is an unusual out of bounds play. Then you got to call a four-man overload, I guess. Here's Johnson. Johnson free throw line extended right, can't stick it. And the rebound is hauled down, controlled by Greg Dahman. Dahman just kind of walks it up for Lena-Winslow. Class A teams are demonstrating a lot more depth these days, Ed.
Yes, they are.
Dahman holding high, looking inside. Man-to-man, pretty tough right now, being employed by Walther Lutheran. Look at this Shoemaker. Loses the ball. Deflected to Amaya.
Amaya made a good block here.
Brian Hill brings it down. Hill in the right corner to Grohl. Grohl in the paint, rolls it up and off. Amaya with the board, tucks it back up and in, no basket again. And a foul whistled, and this one on Eric Franz.
Hill made a nice pass to Grohl in there, and then he went inside to the big guy.
Now checking in for Lena-Winslow again is Greg Brogy. Let's see who they're going to take out. Out comes Eric Franz. We got a timeout. Timeout with 2:33 to go in the quarter. Lena-Winslow leading by 1 at 7-6. And one of your network sponsors is Illinois Pork Producers.
People who care what they eat are learning some surprising things about calories. One surprising thing is that the white meat you see here contains fewer calories than anything else on the plate. But the most surprising thing is that this white meat is pork. Pork, the other white meat.
Walther Lutheran will inbound the basketball under their own attacking basket. Carl Henry will pull the trigger. 7-6, Lena-Winslow leading. 2:33 for the quarter. Well, out on the floor, you have a lineup change as Randy Riley has checked in now, and here is a whistle. Ball was deflected away and out of bounds, and Walther Lutheran continues to control. Carl Henry. Henry out front now, works to Brian Hill. Here's Hill cross court to Carl Henry to Amaya. Up off, no good. Grohl with the board. Amaya gets it out of there, and he is fouled by Jess Shoemaker. Amaya makes so many things happen. He gets the ball on the inside. He's got tremendous strength, very, very long arms. He's 6'5", 210 pounds. Only a 16-year-old junior, but very, very strong inside player. Walther Lutheran again with the alignment on the out-of-bounds play. They have a variety of inbounds maneuvers. Riley, right side, Carl Henry. Skip pass over the zone to Hill. Left side, up and off of the three-pointer. Carl Henry grabs the rebound. Walther Lutheran, Henry. Yeah, Walther Lutheran looking for go-ahead hoop. They're down one. Here's Brian Hill's jump shot. Swish. He nails it. Two-pointer. 6 points for Hill. He has 6 of the club's 8. 8-7 Walther Lutheran. And over this way. Cross-court pass by Franz. Closest man to it was Frank Bassoni. Butkovich almost got hit in the head with that.
Did you see Bassoni's hands? Oh, he still got it.
Well, you were down looking at your score sheet. You didn't even see the pass coming. 8-7. Here's the holdout in the middle. And I think Brogy picked up this one. Got to be more alert, Coach. You can get hurt down here.
Well, Frank had his glasses on. I didn't.
Okay. The foul was called on Shoemaker, not on Brogy. 8-7 Walther Lutheran. 1:52 for the quarter.
They're going to be in that 1-on-1 pretty quick.
Boy, Dick Laity is really shuttling his players in and out of the ball game very, very rapidly. He has used France and Dahmen both. And settled him in and out several times in this quarter. Here is Grohl down to Amaya for 2.
Nice pass inside.
Andrew Amaya with his first bucket. He already has a bundle of rebounds. It's 10-7. The lead to Walther Lutheran by 3. Lee Wynn down quickly on the attack. Beautiful drive by Brogy. Can't get it down, and Amaya swings it out of there. You get one shot against Walther Lutheran if Amaya's working hard on the inside, which he is right now.
That was a great pass inside by Franz.
Carl Henry works off to Riley. Skip pass to Brian Hill. Hill gets the ball back to Carl Henry. Back to Hill from 3. No good. Amaya taps the rebound. Keeps it alive. Riley gets it back. Off to Hill. Hill in the paint. Lean, shoots, misses. Knocked back to Riley. Then picked up by Carl Henry. His shot is no good. And finally, Amaya commits a personal foul as Eric Franz pulls it out of there.
They had enough opportunities. They just didn't drop it down.
I think Lena-Winslow doesn't want to get farther than 3 down, and I think they do want to go back to John Julius on the inside.
Well, the man-to-man has given them some trouble, Frank. When Walther Lutheran went out of the zone, went man-to-man, now we see the zone press, and it's a good one. Grohl steals, but knocks it out of bounds. Very well coached ball club, this Walther Lutheran club. They have fallen to Wheaton Christian by 2, then to Rockford Boylan, 96-66 in the Boylan Thanksgiving Tournament, to Maine West in the Wheeling Classic, 78-77. Only one Class A ball club has defeated them. Under the minute mark, 52 seconds, opening quarter. Nice move behind his back by Matt Morrison, as you see on the dribble. In the corner. Now this is Eric Franz with the basketball. On him over there is Carl Henry. There's John Julius. Julius can't get the shot to stick, and on the rebound, Franz fouls Carl Henry. Foul number 2 on Eric Franz. So Julius going to have his hands full, though, gentlemen, with Amaya in the middle, because Amaya is a very skilled defensive player and does not foul all that much.
Anyone's going to have their hands full on the inside with Amaya.
Lena-Winslow got Sean Stauffer into the game, number 22, a 5'9" junior, as you look at Carl Henry.
So this means that Dick Laity's used 8 players so far in the opening quarter. Henry is at the line on the bonus, 1-1. 10-7, Walther Lutheran leading. 37 seconds for the quarter. Free throw, 11 in. Now, you Jim Albrecht fans out there, I want you to know that Jim is working. You'll see him at halftime.
And here comes another one, too. That's what Dick said. That's what I brought him down here for.
Yep. 9th player getting the ball game. And this is Dave Hoppy has come on for Lena-Winslow. One more throw to Carl Henry. So you got a 12-7 ball game. Walther Lutheran, their biggest lead, up by 5. Lena-Winslow facing Riley in the backcourt. Kind of singular man-to-man pressure. Matt Morrison circles to the baseline, goes all the way. Can't get it down. And Grohl committed the personal foul. Almost looked like in that particular case, the Shoemaker went all the way to the basket. Or was it Morrison? Shoemaker, I guess. No, it was Morrison. Tried to almost do the job by himself. Which, of course, you can't do. Greg Brogy, however, was fouled, and he'll be shooting 1-1. Free throw is no good on the outer iron. Amaya with the board to Carl Henry.
Gonna need those free throws later on.
Across the timeline to Joe Johnson. Johnson for Walther Lutheran. Back in 1986, this club was 0-24. Here's a pass intercepted by John Julius of Lena-Winslow with 3 seconds, with 2 seconds, with 1 second. Fires the ball from behind the timeline, well behind. It caromed high off the glass, and that's it after 1. Walther Lutheran on top by a score of 12-7. And one of your network sponsors is Case IH.
Harvest time. You've got some strong helping hands. And a combine to match, the Case IH Axial Flow. It brings in crop that conventional combines leave behind and treats it more gently, so you get top dollar. You see, with Case IH Axial Flow, you get a good harvest, along with all your good memories.
Supply and demand. If you're a farmer, those two little words will have a big effect on your future. But now there's a company that's turning the law of supply and demand in your favor. ADM Growmark, a new partnership between the Archer Daniels Midland Company and Growmark Incorporated. ADM Growmark is a direct link between your Growmark elevator and the global markets of Archer Daniels Midland. So when it's time to sell your grain, remember the company with worldwide marketing muscle, ADM Growmark.
Well, 1/4 of this one's history. It's a 12-7 ball game. Walther Lutheran leading. Lena-Winslow's Panthers out of Stevenson County. School enrollment of 322 against the private school league entry from Walther Lutheran, 29-3 out of Cook County. Carl Henry, low to Amaya, all alone.
Good pass.
Andrew Amaya with her second bucket. And now it's 14-7. Double team is on. Julius loses. Getting the basketball, going to the hoop is Riley, offensive foul. Randy Riley called for leading in. Or was it Riley? No, correct that. The foul was on Joe Johnson. There's your first period shooting figures. 21% for Lena-Winslow. Wow, 3 of 14. 33 for Walther Lutheran. 5 of 15. Neither team exactly ripping the cords. Free throw is not a factor as yet. 13-7 rebounding edge to Walther Lutheran.
It could be a big factor later on. It is right now.
Shoemaker out front.
They get worse.
It's into Julius. Upon it. He launches it. Can't get it. Amaya with another rebound.
Amaya with another one.
Amaya hauls it down, and bringing the ball across is Joe Johnson. Joe being crowded by Matt Morrison. To Hill. Brian's turnaround won't go. Rebound, Grohl. Back to Brian Hill. Top of the free throw circle. Three-pointer. He got it.
He said, I didn't want 2 points. I want 3.
Yeah. 9 points for Brian. And we have a timeout. Dick Laity on his feet. Lena-Winslow needs to talk it over. 17-7. Walther Lutheran up 10. And one of your network sponsors is American Dairy Association of Illinois.
A little bit of trouble out there.
Walther Lutheran's pretty quick. Guy like Carl Henry, kind of stocky looking fellow, but he can move. Here's a shot by Amaya.
I don't know if you noticed it, but the Hill looked one way and passed the other way.
He's a great player. 19-7 ball game. Big 12-point lead to Walther Lutheran. Break. Bonnet shoots. Can't get it down. Julius tried to tip it. No control, and the basketball goes back over to Walther Lutheran. As this thing is getting away now from Lena-Winslow a little bit. They're down 12 early on second quarter. Walther Lutheran's Hill pulls it up, down to Grohl. Grohl shoots and scores. Pretty play. 21-7. It's been a long dry spell for Lena-Winslow. Dick Laity's ball club needs a bucket badly. Shoemaker on the fly. He doesn't get it. Brian Hill with the board. Carl Henry. They come out on the break quickly. Took Walther Lutheran about 4 or 5 minutes to get on track. They're on track now. Hill lost the ball in the drive. Scooped out of there. Stolen by Matt Morrison. Morrison up for Lee Webb. He pulls it up on the move. It won't go. Rebound, Brogy, no good. Another rebound, and a great rebound pulled down by Andrew Amaya.
That was a big-time rebound.
Indeed it was. Indeed it was. Carl Henry brings it across, looks right, passes left. Off this time to Joe Johnson. Right side, Grohl. Out front to Johnson. Going to take the three-pointer. No good. Amaya again with the board. Stripped. Taken away by Jess Shoemaker. Shoemaker for Lena-Winslow. Slides to the timeline. On the left-handed dribble, Lena-Winslow needs a bucket badly. Right side to Big John Julius. Julius being covered by Amaya. Out front, Bonnett's jumper. Outer iron, no good. Off the floor, Brian Hill has one man to beat. Shoemaker, he turned it over. Big smile across the face of Brian Hill. He knew it.
He knew it right away. 2 times prior to this have come down, and Hills went inside on offense. He lost the ball once, and the last time he didn't get it, but
that's the 7th Walther Lutheran turnover, but the way they're hitting the boards, it doesn't make a lot of difference.
9-0 in the quarter for the Broncos.
Yep. Shot by Morrison, blocked. Grohl with the rebound. The Bronx have the basketball and the big lead.
Maya again.
He's just a one-man mop-up crew on the inside. He can really control the board. Carl Henry in the paint, off the glass.
Good move by Henry.
And Dick Laity has no choice. He has to take another timeout. The wheels are coming off the Panther wagon right now with 4:55 to go in the half. Walther Lutheran 23, Lena-Winslow 7. And one of your network sponsors is Country Company.
The day Tom bought his new car, he knew it would start declining in value, month after month. So he added the keeper coverage to his Country Company's auto insurance. 2 years later, the car was totaled, unrepairable. But instead of giving him only the used car value, Country Companies bought him a brand new one, same make and model, even though it cost more than the original. The keeper for just a few dollars more.
You've got the Country Company.
Never before has so much technology been applied to the marriage of meat and bun.
You can cut the time it takes to make a burger. You can cut the time it takes to cook one. And in the end, you can cut the heart right out of a burger. All in the name of good business. Well, at Hardee's, we put a little extra care into each hamburger we serve, so we can make this cut in the name of good taste. Because at Hardee's, we're out to win you over.
Walther Lutheran has made a 15-0 run. They hold a rebounding edge now of 18-8, as you see on the graphic on your screen. This dominated, led by Amaya. Field goal percentage, Walther Lutheran 45. Lena-Winslow has fallen to 15% shooting.
Looks like a half-court press coming here, 1-3-1. Yeah.
Up for Lena-Winslow, now Greg Dahman. He works right side to Matt Morrison, knocked away, stolen by Brian Hill. Hill sails the pass to Carl Henry, sails in, up, no good. Rebound, John Julius. Julius with a big-time rebound, that time himself. He brings it down to Matt Morrison. Panthers need a bucket badly. They're looking off right side to Tony Bonnet. On the dribble is Matt Morrison. To Dahman, to Julius. Julius flips inside, travels. All the pressure inside the defense, and it looks like at least zone principles as Walther Lutheran pitches a 10 around Julius on the inside.
They're doing an excellent job of changing up on their defenses. One time down there in a straight man-to-man, next time down there in a half-court trap.
Melvin Johnson is checked in for Walther Lutheran. Pretty good ball player himself. He replaces Grohl. Johnston is 6'3", 215, an 18-year-old senior. Shots from the side won't go. The rebound, Bonnet. Outlet pass. Julius can't hang on to it, or actually Brogy couldn't hang on to it. And it's controlled instead by Walther Lutheran.
Hill's got a good pair of hands.
Henry to Amaya for 2. Fouled by Brogy.
Henry is a real good player, a solid player.
We'll see it again.
Nice pass there.
Gave it to him right in the scoring territory, and Amaya's up the line trying to complete the three-pointer. 25-7. 17-point run.
You don't
18-point run.
You don't see many guards at 190 pounds. But Henry.
They can move like Henry anyway. 26-7. 3:50 to go in the half. Walther Lutheran building up a big margin, shooting for their 30th win of the year. On the floor is Matt Morrison. Morrison to Dahman. Dahman skip pass left side. Back to Morrison. They have Franz on the high post. He's top of the circle right now. John Julius goes inside. Jumper is up by Morrison. No good. And Melvin Johnson picks up the foul.
The Broncos really got him spread out right now. Offensively, Lena-Winslow is way out there that time.
Well,
intimidating in there.
At the quarter, it was a 12-7 ball game. 5-point lead. And Walther Lutheran, with 3:32 to go in the half, has allowed nary a point in the second quarter.
It's been almost 8 minutes for the Panthers to break this scoring drought. Morrison will try here.
Matt Morrison with the opportunity. He doesn't get it. Melvin Johnson with the rebound for the Broncos. Over to Brian Hill. Hill comes across. Those bright Kelly green uniforms. Hill feeds Amaya. Reverse layup. They're putting on a clinic. 11 points for Amaya already.
Hill's having a good time out there. That was a great pass.
28-7. Here's Bonnet. Bonnet to John Julius. Julius inside. Finally got one home. And he was fouled on the play. Well, that breaks the string of what, about 21, 22 points?
Something like that.
Well, let's see. We can figure it out. It was
12-7 of the quarter. I don't know what they got before that.
Okay, 28-7. 21-point run. Julius is at the line. He finally snapped it. 28-9. There you see John Julius. His free throw. 28-10. Walther Lutheran by 18. 3:09 for the half. Up with it is Joe Johnson. Johnson comes out front to Bob Kane, who's in the ball game now on the point. Kane right side to Brian Hill. He drives to the base, gets the ball to Melvin Johnson.
Double team him, and he dropped it off inside.
30-10. Walther Lutheran by 20. Private school league entry. That's the league that produced Providence of New Lenox years ago with Walter Downing and company. Providence of New Lenox has since dropped out of the league. Aurora Central Catholic was very strong in that circuit earlier. Melvin Johnson has to scramble to Hill. Misses the slam dunk. Hill missed the slam dunk. Up quickly comes Dahman. Fans go wild as the ball carries out and Hill steals again, and this time he is fouled by Tony Bonnet. The Broncos want to push, push, push. Get you playing this as fast as you can.
Coach said he wanted 80-point game.
There's a missed dunk by Brian Hill. One of life's more embarrassing moments for a basketball player. How do you react when a kid misses a dunk?
I've never had one that could dunk.
I knew that's what he was going to say. I just knew that's what he was going to say. Lineup changes for the Panthers.
We've had a couple.
Des Shoemaker's back in the ball game. Now checking in Randy Riley. Comes on for Joe Johnson.
And he's reacted poorly.
If they make it, they stay. If they miss it, they come out.
They join you as a bench, huh? Brian Hill is at the line. 9 points for Hill. 2:21 for the half. Mr. Hill notches it.
They get a good view of the next one.
Not from under the basket, however. 31-10. Walther Lutheran is a good look at Brian Hill. Many, many colleges interested in Mr. Hill's services. A second throw. It's there. 32-10 ball game. John Julius. Cross court now to Vic Legner is in the ball game. Or not Legner, I should say Sean Stauffer. Legner plays for Walther Lutheran, where it's number 22. Here's Bonnet. Bonnet goes to the baseline. Tries to push off on Melvin Johnson. Goes to the basket. Shot is up and off. Offensive foul. Tony Bonnet picks up foul number 2. You'll see it here. Here's Bonnet pulling them. And he picks up the charge against Andrew Amaya. Coming back in for Lena-Winslow is Greg Brody.
Luke Kane took that charge, didn't he? Number 24. Stood his ground. He's on the point right now. Just come in the ball game a little bit ago.
Kane working left side now to Riley. Melvin Johnson rolls inside. He and Amaya. 34 is Johnson. 60 is Amaya. Here's Hill at three-point range. Won't go. Amaya had the rebound. Outreached for it by Eric Franz and Lena-Winslow with the ball. They're down 22 at the 1:44 mark in the second quarter. Well, out on the floor, what have we got? A whistle stopping play. And there's a paper airplane on the floor of the Assembly Hall.
Earlier in the first quarter, somebody threw something out on the floor, too.
Spotted by Ted Knapp, the official from Mount Vernon. Ted removes the refuse, and here we go again. Eric Franz makes the play up to Greg Brogy. To Sean Stauffer on the right side to John Julius. Out front, pull-up jump shot, good.
Good move by Franz.
Eric Franz. 32-12. Randy Riley across, 5'10", 140, 17-year-old senior. Deflected to Kane. Kane bounce pass into Amaya. And Amaya dumps it in. 13 points for Andrew Amaya. 34-12. Up with it is Sean Stauffer as Lena-Winslow has gone to his bench very, very heavily. Shoemaker to Julius. Twist in against Melvin Johnson, and Johnson hooked him. Picks up his second personal foul. John Julius will step to the line. He has a total of 7 points in the ball game this evening.
I think Coach Peterson showed you he's got a little bit of bench, too. He's not been afraid to go with these guys, although they have a nice lead, but he's rotating them in there.
He's got 5 reserves in.
Yes, also out there now, Legner is in the ball game for Walther Lutheran. Julius can't get it down. Number 40 on the floor also, Steve Belzer in for the first time, along with Legner, Melvin Johnson, Kane, and Riley.
Riley does a good job defensively. Watch him here pretty soon.
Riley directs traffic. Tells Legner exactly where he wants him to go. Down to 50 seconds in the first half. Here is Riley in the right corner. Over to Kane. Kane to Legner. Legner looks inside to Melvin Johnson. Bounce pass into Johnson. He turns. Can't get it. Tip on the inside. No good. Rebound. Pulled down by Julius. John Julius with 33 seconds to go in the half.
Beautiful bounce pass in there.
34-13. Passing today, by and large, has been good, Ed.
Yes, it has.
All day long. Julius. Out to Franz at the free throw line. Can't get her to drop, and the rebound is controlled. Taken down by Steve Belzer for Walther Lutheran. Now Kane directs traffic. 11 seconds to go. Off to Riley, left wing. Out front this time to Legner. The ball is kicked away. Loose. Picked up by Shoemaker for Lena-Winslow. Lays it up and scores.
Good move.
Shoemaker with the steal at the buzzer, and that's it at halftime. And at the halftime break, Walther Lutheran firmly in command. The Broncos on top by a score of 34-15. Let's pause for these messages.
Who makes the best quality American-made appliances? Whirlpool. Who guarantees 100% customer satisfaction? Whirlpool. Where can you get the best price and free delivery on Whirlpool appliances? Neil's, the king of deals.
His fellow governors voted him the most effective governor in America. The son of Greek immigrants, he served his country in Korea, and inspired by John Kennedy, he chose public service. In 9 years as governor of Massachusetts, he wiped out huge budget deficits, cut taxes, fought corruption, helped 40,000 welfare mothers find jobs, and led an economic turnaround they call a miracle. Mike Dukakis, a president for the 90s.
Turn to 19 for LA's most persistent medical examiner. Quincy's on the case weekday afternoons at 4 on WHOI.
Well, we're at halftime, 34-15. The lead belonging to Walther Lutheran and Ed Butkovich. The Broncos got to a little bit of a slow start. Once they went to the man-to-man, things turned dramatically.
They picked things up. Board strength and quickness has been a big factor in this first half.
They've been able to get the ball inside to Amaya. Of course, a lot of that Amaya does himself with the offensive rebounding, but they have passed extremely well.
Oh, he does a good job. The guards outside, the guards that come off the bench, I thought made some real good passes. And he got the quickness out there of Hill. He looks one way, passes the other way, and They just got good court sense.
They've pretty well taken John Julius out of the game offensively, haven't they?
Well, they come back and got that three-point play a little bit later on there in the second half, but for that one stretch, that 21-0 stretch, they just took him right out of the ballgame.
Maya went out and took Julius nose to nose, and Maya's a very good-looking junior, no doubt about that.
Well, they got a couple key blocks in there, and I think they intimidated him inside, and when they were intimidated, then they kind of slacked off of going to the inside and tried to go outside, and they couldn't do it at that time.
So we got a 34-15 game at halftime. The Broncos on top. One of your network sponsors is Case IH.
For more comfort, Magnum Comfort. Magnum means more. With better visibility in an all-new cab, with more window area than the leading competitor. See 17% more. Feel 100% better. New cabs, plus new engines and power shift transmissions. All new, all Magnum. Magnum tractors. Tractors that will do more for you.
Oh, hey, come on. Got a minute? Sure. I saw what you did for my neighbor over there.
Most people come to Chem Lawn because of the work we've done for their neighbors.
Tell me what.
Besides feeding your lawn, our people are specially trained to control the weeds and insects that can damage it. This kind of service is what makes Chem Lawn different. And it's why we can guarantee you a healthier, more beautiful lawn or your money back.
Excuse me, Chem Lawn, you got a minute?
Be right with you.
Call now for Chem Lawn Care. We give our people better training. They give you a better lawn.
Lena-Winslow taking it on the chin right now at halftime, another half to go. As you may or may not know, there are fans and then there are real fans, and the gentleman next to me qualifies in the latter category. He is the ultimate fan. Jim Salas is his name. He has not missed a Lena-Winslow game, home or away, no matter how far the road travels, for 29 years in a row. Jim, when you started this, did you think you could keep this string alive?
Well, I never even thought much about it until the year that we went to Elizabeth and the buses got snowed in and there was only 2 cars that made it up there and made it back. The buses were stopped in Stockton and they were held there, and we got on home. And I got to thinking about it that the other car and I were the only ones that got to that game, so then I got to thinking about it. So I've worked hard at it lately. I went a couple times and I didn't feel much like being at a ball game.
Now, your wife has only missed one game because your son was sick on one night. Let me ask you a question. In 29 years, have you changed your style of being a fan? When you first started out, were you any different than you are now?
Quieter now. I've learned that when I got done yelling all night, I was hoarse. So I quit that.
You've seen a lot of Lena-Winslow teams, of course. The one that came here in 1984 finished 4th in the state. There was a Sweet 16 team in 1979. In 29 years, the obvious question, do you have a favorite?
You mean a favorite team or a favorite guy? Well, I don't know.
What about guys?
Well, we had a Bill Miller that played back many years ago that went to Wisconsin, and he was quite some player. About 2 of his high school years, he averaged over 30 points a game.
I got one final question for you, Jim. Looking at the scoreboard, do you believe in miracles or anything like that?
Oh, I believe in John and the rest of them kids out there. They might just do it.
Okay, Jim, congratulations. I hope you go another 29.
Well, I'd like to make one more anyway and make it 30.
Okay, that is Jim Salas, the Lena-Winslow fan. We'll come back here from Assembly Hall. One of your network sponsors is the American Dairy Association of Illinois.
Come on, everybody, do that kick. Help kick, milk that kick. The hard man pours it on the real power. Staying in shape, milk's a part of it all. Milk. From big city slickers to wheat field kickers, America's favorite help kick, milk.
Farm & Fleet has the hottest prices on this season's largest selection of rugged brand-name workwear. Save $5 on every pair of work and sport full-grain leather shoes and work boots in stock. You'll find an outstanding selection of quality leather footwear for work, the outdoors, or the farm. Work and sport boots are sale priced from only $36.99. Farm and Fleet has Oshkosh Bagosh workwear on sale now. Twill work shirts are $10.99. Matching Twill work pants are $11.99. Save $5 on famous Oshkosh Bagosh bib overalls, now only $15.99. Only during Farm and Fleet's spring workwear sale.
Well, back in the assembly hall, we're at halftime. As you see, it's a 34-15 ball game with Walther Lutheran rolling over Lena-Winslow, and Ed Butkovich, Dick Laity has his hands full at halftime trying to stem the tide here. We're going to see the stats in just a moment. Take a look at them right now together. And, of course, the first half performance reflected statistically 14 of 31 shooting for Walther Lutheran, 45%. Pretty good when they're getting 31 shots. Yeah. Lena-Winslow just 25 on 6 of 24. They got now 7 less shots. 5 of 5 at the line for Walther Lutheran, 3 of 7 for Lena. Rebounding 20-12. That's a pretty substantial margin.
That's the biggest factor. And of course, the shooting is also a big factor. 25% is not very good. Yep. And when you're playing that way and the team's pressing like they are, it just magnifies everything that you do wrong.
And the turnover column is negated by the rebounding and shooting. 8 for Walther Lutheran. Lena-Winslow's been forced into 9 with that little bit of a trap. They work out of their man-to-man. They go man-to-man trap and then little zone press, and they just got Lena-Winslow off stride. So, there's your scoring at halftime. John Julius has 8 for Lena-Winslow. For Walther Lutheran, it's Andrew Amaya with 13 big ones, and All-Stater Brian Hill with 11. And one of your network sponsors is Illinois Pork Producers.
These meals may look familiar, but there's something about them you don't know. You know they're old favorites. You know they're delicious. And you know they're made with white meat. What you don't know is that the white meat they're made with isn't chicken. It's pork. Because even an old favorite can use a new twist.
I always fill up with ethanol fuel. It burns clean, and that's great for my car.
Ethanol fuels are made from corn, grown right here in Illinois and replaceable every year.
Ethanol blend fuels make up over 25% of all gasoline sold in Illinois, and we're proud to offer it to our customers.
Brought to you by the Illinois Corn Marketing Board on behalf of Illinois corn growers.
Ed Butkovich, what can Lena-Winslow do?
I don't know. They got a lot to do out there. You know, Lena-Winslow is so far up north that if they ever had an earthquake, these kids would be playing up at Madison. And maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need a little earthquake right now to get them shook up. I know that they're not going to die out there. They're going to come out and play the best that they can. But, you know, like I said, they got behind just like that first game this morning, this afternoon. And, you know, tough to come back, you know. 19 down, there's not a lot you can do, but just chip away, and hopefully maybe they can cut it down to 9 or 10 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And if they could do that, maybe they could stay in the ball game. But if they don't do it, it's going to be tough.
Hard to convince kids. You just shouldn't try to get it all back at once. But, of course, we all know you can't get it all back at once.
But those first 3 or 4 minutes of this half are going to be very, very important to both of these Buffaloes. And it always is.
It'll determine whether or not Lena-Winslow can stay in the ball game. All right, it's inbounded, and Lena-Winslow has it with Matt Morrison. Morrison clears it out front now to Jess Shoemaker. Long lead pass for Bonnet. Bonnet couldn't have caught that if he was 9 feet tall.
Looks like they're going to start out the same way they did last half. That's unfortunate right now. Maybe they can get it together.
Little trapping zone press. John Julius moves out front. He continues to play the point on that press. Good athlete. Brian Hill. Cross court down low to Grohl. His shot won't go. Big rebound by Jess Shoemaker. Every unsuccessful trip down the floor, of course, for the Broncos helps Lee win in this one. Bonnet. Got it. Little improved shooting to make a world of difference for the Panthers as well.
That's a good start.
34-17 ball game. There's Carl Henry, as Ed pointed out in the first half. Good, solid basketball player. They look inside. Always the Broncos look to Amaya first, it appears. Of course, that's your high percentage game inside. There is Dick Laity with almost a grim expression on the players' bench. There's a lob against the zone defense, and Brogy is going to be called for pushing off on the inside on Greg Brogy. That's foul number 2. Upcoming later this evening, Pinckneyville and Watsika. They are the two most highly rated teams in the tournament, although Walther Lutheran on a couple of occasions has been ranked as high as 2 in the state. Out front with the basketball is Joe Johnson. To Brian Hill from the side. Three-pointer. Second three-pointer for Brian Hill tonight. 37-17.
The Broncos show you a lot of things on those out-of-bounds plays.
They really do. They have about as good an out-of-bounds repertoire as we've seen down here in a long time, Ed.
Looks like that might be one of their specialties.
Out front is Matt Morrison. Morrison for Lena-Winslow. Off the right wing. Shoemaker into Brogy. Brogy to Julius. Julius with the jumper. Rebound haul down by Bonnet, traveling.
Well, you know, when you got a couple players like Hill and Amaya, you can do a lot of things. You got Mr. Outside, Mr. Inside.
Well, that's right, and then you throw in good passers like Carl Henry out there, and, of course, Johnson, some of those guys. Here is Hill. Leaner won't go. Grohl tips it. Rebound. It's a great save at the baseline. Really not a rebound. Matt Morrison with a fine save.
Did you see how high Grohl got up there?
Yeah, I really did. Here's a shot by Bonnet. It won't go. Nice scrappy rebound by Morrison.
Good job.
Matt got her down. 37-19. Walther Lutheran was not playing Grohl as much early in the season when I saw them as they have out here tonight. He started, but didn't play quite as much. They were using Melvin Johnson rather extensively. Well, obviously, Grohl is the full-fledged regular. Maya shot hurried, deflected back to him. He backs him. Got it.
The ball was tipped about 2 or 3 times there.
Maya has unbelievable balance for a big junior. He's 7 of 9 from the field. Bonnet at the paint, won't go. Rebound, Carl Henry. Here's Henry, drive up, knocked away from behind Brogy. The steal was set up, however, by Morrison. Down to Julius, he slams it. No basket, traveling. Pretty play, nevertheless, but I think he did walk with it, Ed.
Well, they may have, but I tell you what, they would have really brought them back in there. I mean, that would have really given them some enthusiasm there, and which I think it did anyway, but it's unfortunate it didn't go in.
Melvin Johnson checks in now, replacing John Grohl. Grohl is 6'3", 185, a senior. They put in Melvin Johnson, 6'3", 215, a senior. Double team is on. Joe Johnson to Carl Henry. They play Andy over at the timeline. Carl Henry, the point guard. Off to Brian Hill, three-pointer on the way. Count it. He crackles the cords at about 21, 42-19.
I think you're going to remember that name, Brian Hill.
I think so, too. He'll play somewhere, won't he?
It's going to be on the lips of a lot of youngsters in the state of Illinois before this tournament's over.
He's exciting. Walther Lutheran youngsters, as I understand, by and large, very, very solid students. The conversations I've had with Keith Peterson.
I'm amazed at their patience when they do bring the ball down sometimes. I mean, they've got a number of things that they do, and they're very, very patient.
Now, Keith Peterson's given them quite an offensive package, hasn't he?
I think so.
Of course, when you got the big man inside that can play as well as Amaya, a lot of things work. Look at Amaya strap for the ball. Now, a lot of guys inside never would have gotten that basketball. Amaya just stuck with it.
Many of them would have made the move after he got it.
That's right. 43-19. Lena-Winslow is way behind, but they're just playing a fine basketball team tonight. They're playing an excellent ball club and giving it a tremendous effort themselves, but just unable to match. John Julius hustles for the ball, goes from the first row of fans down at one end of the floor. Of course, that's a new wrinkle at the Assembly Hall this year, is the end zone seating that they have installed. They've shifted the band to the opposite end of the floor. The Flora band, Cattleman band will be here tomorrow entertaining. Melvin Johnson works out front to Johnson. Joe launches it and misses it. Rebound. Amaya almost got that, but John Julius out-wrestled it. Here's Lee Wynn up on the attack. Down low to Brogy. Short poke. No good. Amaya with a spectacular board. He tumbles out of bounds, and the basketball is going to go to Lena-Winslow. Amaya went to the floor, along with Matt Morrison. Like a couple of big towers out there, and finally Amaya kind of pulled Morrison down with him as he tumbled out of bounds. They mop up the floor, and the Panthers from Lena-Winslow to make the play in. There's your turnover count, 13-9, Lena-Winslow. 9 turnovers, the way Walther Lutheran played, is not many at this point in the ballgame. John Julius in the paint. Shot deflected. John gets it back. He's working. He can't get it to drop. Loose basketball. Brogy up and in. Great Brogy.
Good offensive effort there by Lena-Winslow at times.
Julius wants to win so bad. You can just see the expression on his face. He doesn't know he's behind. Here's Melvin Johnson. Johnson sweeps in. Julius swats it out of there. What do we have? Foul call on Lena-Winslow on the inside as Riley checks back in the Walther Lutheran lineup. Gives the foul to Greg Brogy, his third. You have to love the determination of these kids, don't you?
Oh, it's just great, you know.
You've got to enjoy coaching, Ed, from that standpoint.
As long as I've been in it, I have to enjoy
You better. There's Radio Row across the way. Hard-working group, right? I think they're hard-working.
Well, I think they are. I know they are.
A lot of paperwork at the free throw line. Goes Melvin Johnson. One more throw to Melvin. Melvin 6'3", a 215-pounder, 53% free throw shooter, 43% shooter from the field, averages 5.1. He improved his free throw shooting with 2 out of 2. 46-21. 25-point lead being held by Walther Lutheran. Latter stages, third quarter. Bringing the ball across for Lena-Winslow, wearing number 22 is Sean Stauffer. Holding high on the right side is John Julius to Brogy. Out front, long shot, good, bullseye, three-pointer, just Shoemaker.
It'll take a number of those.
First three-pointer to ring the bell for Lena-Winslow.
There's another turnover.
There's an errant pass, swatted back in, cross court. Sean Stauffer made the save. He let it go. The basketball would have belonged to the Panthers, but hey, don't fault the kid's hustle.
No. I think it was Lena-Winslow's ball out of bounds, though, if he lets it go.
I do, too. Okay, bringing the ball across for Walther Lutheran is Joe Johnson. Johnson, a starter. 5'10", 155, 17-year-old senior, off to Riley. Into Melvin Johnson to Hill. Hill on the base, won't go. Rebound, pull down, and controlled by Jess Shoemaker. Shoemaker, 5'10", 171. He's an 18-year-old senior. He brings it up on the left-handed dribble. Riley's on him tough out front. But they swing the ball to big Greg Brogy, 6'2", 195. He's a senior, 17-year-old. Back out to number 22, Sean Stauffer on the dribble. 2:49 to go, Chapter 3. 46-24, Walther Lutheran. Traveling violation against Lee Wen. Basketball back to the green and white, or green and gold, I guess the school colors of Walther Lutheran. And we got a timeout. So 2:44 to go in the quarter, and the score, 46-24. Walther Lutheran with the big lead. Let's pause for these messages.
See you tonight, honey.
Tonight, poached oysters with chocolate sauce.
Oh, no need to cook tonight, honey. Why don't we just order in or out? Anything.
Hello, Kroger?
Need help with cooking tips, storage advice, even recipe hints? Kroger has a toll-free meat line staffed by experts. Just give them a call. This deal is terrific. How'd you do it?
No family recipe.
Hello, Kroger. Hello, Kroger.
Tomorrow, roast parrot.
The Kroger toll-free meat line, because a little help can make a difference.
Never before has so much technology been applied to the marriage of meat and bun.
You can cut the time it takes to make a burger. You can cut the time it takes to cook one. And in the end, you can cut the heart right out of a burger. All in the name of good business. Well, at Hardee's, we put a little extra care into each hamburger we serve, so we can make this cut in the name of good taste. Because at Hardee's, we're out to win you over.
Ed, back in 83-84, fourth place finish for Lena-Winslow, and three of those ball players are brothers, the kids that played on that team, aren't they?
Yeah, they were. Bonnet, Stauffer, and Schultz.
Regan Schultz, he hasn't been in the ball game as yet. Right side of the floor, Walther Lutheran.
Good ball movement.
Inside, Amaya, his turnaround. Snatched out of there and controlled as the Panthers bring the ball up quickly. Greg Domin. Well out on the floor. Off to Matt Morrison. Right side, John Julius. Baseline jumper by Julius. Three-pointer. It's good.
It just shows you why he's that ball player, too. Plays all over the floor himself.
11 points for Julius, who on the season, averaging a rather gaudy 18.6. Kane across for Walther Lutheran.
Excellent player.
Yep, to Brian Hill. Skip pass over the zone. Jumper Riley.
The good size of Brian Hill being able to see over the defense led to that one. And he's got, just like I said, he knows where his kids are out on the floor. He's got good court sense.
Randy Riley's a senior veteran. Bob Kane's only a junior. Julius again, another three-pointer. John Julius, 2 3-pointers in a row. 48-30. 18-point lead as suddenly the Lena-Winslow fans come to life with a minute and a half to go in Chapter 3. Kane to Riley, to Hill. Back to Riley, off to Kane. The lob to Amaya. Andrew off the glass.
Of course, that'll silence them just a little bit. It's unfortunate they can't make a couple stops down here to get back in it.
19 points for Andrew Amaya. 20-point lead, 50-30. With 1:09 to go in the third quarter. Brody well out on the floor to number 14, Matt Morrison. They work to Julius. Julius has it knocked away. Hill got a hand on it. To Kane. Kane roars up the floor. Cross court to Brian Hill. Pulls it up. 3-point range. Rattles around. Won't go. And John Julius with the board. Under a minute, third quarter. 52 seconds and counting. Coming up quickly with the basketball. Lena-Winslow. Out front. Long jumper. Rolls no good by Morrison. Gets his own rebound. The ball is loose. And Melvin Johnson picks it up for Walther Lutheran. Down to Riley. Riley launches the tip in by Brian Hill on the alley-oop. 52-30.
Not a good pass, but a great athletic move by Brian Hill.
Hill got up on the step ladder. Control what would have been a turnover in most occasions. Here's a block by Amaya. 18 seconds for the quarter to Riley. To Hill. Turns around, changes direction, misses the layup. The rebound. Controlled by Morrison. Down to 7 seconds to play in the quarter.
I think he should have kicked the last one off.
Here's John Julius. Julius working on Hill. Straightens up. Pumps a three-pointer. Limps the bucket. No good. And that's it after 3. Wow. After 3 periods of play, it's Lena-Winslow trailing now by 22. Walther Lutheran 52. Lena 30. And one of your network sponsors is Country Company.
The day you drive out with a new car, you start driving down the value month after month. With most auto insurance, total a car 2 years later, and you just get the used car value. But with Country Company's Keeper policy, if your car is wrecked beyond repair, you get a brand new car. Same make and model, even if it costs more than you paid at first. So get the Country behind you.
You got the Country Company.
Family tradition continues.
Hi, this is Duchess. My 1988 Beretta GT that I bought from Bob Grimm Chevrolet. Our family have always bought Chevys for Bob Grimm Chevrolet for a long time. And I figured my mom can buy a Chevy from Bob Grimm, so can I. And I've had exceptionally good quality in this car, and I love it. And I'm very extremely satisfied. Thanks, Bob.
Bob Grimm Chevrolet, Morton.
Going to see that play by Hill, the alley-oop.
Watch this great athletic move right here.
Was a little off target even. He controlled it. 19 points apiece at this point for Brian Hill and Andrew Amaya for Walther Lutheran.
You know, at Iowa, they got Dr. Tom.
There's a field goal percentage, 46 for the Broncos, 31 for Lena-Winslow. Kane heavy traffic. He's determined to shoot it. And finally, a lane violation is going to nullify a foul call.
I was just going to say, at Iowa, they got Dr. Tom up at Lena-Winslow area. They call Dick Laity Dr. Dick. You better ball some out of that bag of tricks he's got.
Yeah, I guess so. He's down 22 right now, just underway in the final period. As Matt Morrison comes up the floor with it against Kane. Long jumper up and in. Giving the field goal to Jeff Shoemaker.
Jeff Shoemaker. Good job. There's an amazing story on Shoemaker. We'll let you know about it in just a few minutes.
Yeah, he had that major surgery, didn't he, on the leg?
Yes, he did.
Brian Hill sails inside. Won't go. Rebound. Melvin Johnson goes.
He had a ruptured quadricep muscle in his leg 2 years ago in football. Missed most of last year. Come back to have a great season this year.
And that's a major operation.
Quite a story on him, yes.
Bonnet from the side for Lena. No good. Rebound is deflected away. Fought for. Picked up by Brogy. Can't get it down. Brogy tips it. Here's Brian Hill coming out. Hill sees Kane ahead of the break. Kane right side tries to return. Bounce pass and kicking the ball is a violation. And Riley shaken up for Walther Lutheran on the play as he tumbles to the floor. He's okay.
I guess Hill may be a little bit human. You know, he made an error there. He passed the ball behind the guy. At least he had him picked out. Wasn't quite a good enough pass to get there, but...
Exciting player, no doubt about that. Inbounds pass stolen away. Down the floor. Shoemaker to Julius. Lays it up for kind of a mini dunk. 16 for John Julius to sort of ease the ball over the rim, but he was shooting it downhill, friends.
He's had an excellent second half, hasn't he?
Yep. Pinckneyville and Watsika, the final quarterfinal game upcoming following this one. We'll have it for you. Of course, Amaya on the baseline. Lost the ball to Bonnehill. Tony Bada with the steal, the 201-pound senior.
Bada's a real good hustler out there. He's worked hard out there tonight.
There is Shoemaker. Pass for Julius. Hill intercepts. Tightrope walks the sidelines. Is called for stepping out of bounds. Jim Maroon from Neoga saw the play. A little bit late in getting over to be right on top of it, but he did call it.
I think Dick should have had a striped shirt on that last one. I think he had that call himself.
Dick Laity helped him a great deal. But Jim Maroon was just a shade out of position. He was trying to hustle back down the floor and did so. Here is Julius. Julius against Hill. Lost his balance, lost control of the shot. Melvin Johnson with the board off to Kane. Kane right side. Out front to Riley. Back to Kane. Bounce pass low to Johnson. Rolls it up, misses it. Gets it back, misses it. And Johnson over the back of Brogy. Melvin Johnson's going to make it happen one way or the other, and he picks up his third foul. 6 points for Johnson.
I believe Kane and Riley could be starters for many, many ball clubs throughout the state of Illinois.
Team has a lot of depth. Let's watch Johnson work in here.
Good
there he goes.
Side.
Nothing there. Gets it back. There he goes. Nothing there. Now he goes over the back of Brogy. Something there. Foul on Johnson.
He might have got fouled once or twice himself.
Yeah. Morrison to Brogy. Brogy launches it. Right side, air ball, but Julius picks it up off the floor. John comes back. He can't get it down. Kane with the rebound. 3 on 3. See what they do. Brian Hill. Come on. No good. Brogy with the board.
Good bounce pass by Kane in there, though.
Here's Matt Morrison to Julius. Out to Morrison. 3-point range. Doesn't take it. Inside Brogy turns. Rolls it up. No good. Rebound tip by Amaya. Amaya wraps it up, plays it off to Riley. Riley goes to Ralph, plays it up, missed it. Rebound Brogy, but what a great move to get there.
Little hesitation dribble, missed the layup. But
Matt Morrison moves and scores. Well, the afterburners are on now. 54-37, Walther Lutheran, 5-minute mark in the ball game. Riley to Kane. In the middle to Amaya. Right side Hill, 3-pointer. Back iron. Rebound Brogy. Brogy off to Morrison. Morrison thunders down. Cut off by Kane. Fires it. About 18-footer. It's short air ball. And bringing her down is Riley. Riley controls his Randy with the basketball. Kind of bouncing up to the timeline.
Lena-Winslow showing you a lot of heart out there.
Oh, indeed they are.
They are tired right now, but they've really played a great thing.
You ever see a Dick Laity team didn't play 100%?
They always do.
His teams really battle. One of the state's under-publicized programs and under-publicized coaches.
Good defensive play there by Julius.
Intercepted by John Julius. Here's Brogy from the side. Shot blocked by Amaya. Brogy gets it back. We have a foul. And Kane, I think, is the player picked it up. One thing about Class A basketball, smaller communities, and of course, they don't get the publicity that the larger ball clubs do. Most of them don't have radio stations, newspapers, or TV stations, and there's a lot of excellent basketball played in this state that people don't really know about until tournament time.
Well, that's why this show is so great down there.
Yep.
The showcase, a lot of great talent.
Well, your own Mount Pulaski program falls in that category. The many great years Havana had. Lawrenceville's always had a little limelight because they were so good for so long.
Well, I think that's a real benefit of the Class A basketball. I think that the programs have been established for years. That the guys have had good programs, didn't get the recognition because they didn't get the opportunity to get down there. Now you've seen some other teams get down there, Crispin in the last few years, and you see what kind of program and what a great job Roger Beals does over there.
And of course, Keith Baldwin of Watsika, he's here the second year in a row. Brogy at the line. We can go on and on. Better not do that. We're going to slight somebody.
I know that, but we don't mean to.
No, you make a good point, too. No doubt about it. One of the beauties of the Class A system. Two-class system. Franz is going to shoot it. This lost control of the basketball. Eric France got in the air, couldn't find the handle.
He had good arc on the ball, just went in the wrong direction.
Went backwards. Almost cleaned out Radio Row over there. Those guys haven't moved that fast, most of them in 10, 15 years. 54-38. Walther Lutheran pulled away early. They've completely dominated. Very, very similar to the domination Pena had against Beardstown this afternoon. The lob, Amaya rolls up, blocked, no good, foul.
Real good pass by Grohl. He's a role player. He does an excellent job out there. I've enjoyed watching him play.
Amaya will be at the stripe. Amaya has 19 points. Brian Hill 19. Neither scored in the fourth quarter. Andrew Amaya. 55-38. 3:53 left in this one. Walther Lutheran now with 8 of 8 free throws. Leonard Prairie at the line. This one they missed. Rebound. John Julius got it away from Grohl. As John Julius and John Grohl went for the basketball. Lena-Winslow brings it up. Here's France. France comes out front to Matt Morrison. Back to Shoemaker. The long shot on the outer rim. No good. The rebound control. Flat-footed by Kane. Bob Kane's 5'6", a junior, 16-year-old. Outside to Grohl. Grohl looks inside. Back to Kane. Back to Grohl. Bounce pass low inside. Karam's away. Loose basketball. Picked up, control by Andrew Amaya. Swatted away. No whistle. Still no whistle. Loose basketball. They dig it out front, and Joe Johnson controls the ball. Here's Johnson to Kane. Kane looks into Melvin Johnson. He and Julius banging in there. Baseline Grohl. Little 8-footer. Air ball. Amaya. Up and in.
Let's give Grohl an assist on that one.
I would think so. 57-38. Walther Lutheran.
He's probably the only one in the gym saw that guy open.
I'm not sure he was. But he got the hood and got the hoop. Right side Shoemaker to Julius, and Grohl is going to be called for checking off from behind. Foul number 2 on John Grohl. Brian Hill checks in the ball game now, replacing Melvin Johnson, who had 6 here tonight. And we have a timeout with the score and the time. 2:45 to go. Walther Lutheran on top, 57-38. Let's pause for these messages.
Farm & Fleet has the hottest prices on this area's largest selection of brand name workwear. Look for tremendous savings on Wall's quality workwear. Save $5 on Wall's long-sleeved, unlined poplin.
All right, the Panthers from Lena-Winslow will make the play on 2:45 left in the Lena-Winslow season. The ball being inbounded by Tony Bonnet. Out front with a right-handed push, and the shot Karam's off by David Hoppy from the side. Long three-pointer up and in by Bonnet.
You know, Lena-Winslow's played him even in the second half. Matter of fact, they've got the lead off. 3 points.
Well, timeout is taken here by Walther Lutheran, as apparently Keith Peterson saw something that he wanted to discuss a bit more. Walther Lutheran Ball Club, as we say, lost only 3 times this year. 1986, Ed, this club was 0-24. Much has been made of that, and I happened to have to work a Walther Lutheran game earlier in the year. Keith Peterson talked about the fact that even that year, things were really tough, but they were losing a lot of close ball games. The kids hung with it. Came back with an 18-10 record in 87 and 29-3 this year. There's the IHSA network for our coverage of the Class A Boys State Tournament. WPWR Chicago, WQRF Rockford, WQAD Moline, KHQA Quincy, WHOI in Peoria, WRSP in Springfield, WCCU in Champaign, WCEE in Mount Vernon, and WSIL in Harrisburg. Great to have all of you with us for our coverage of the Class A State Tournament. A great one coming up between Pinckneyville and Watsika, and of course all of the action tomorrow. Walther Lutheran inbounds it. Brian Hill to Kane. And I have a hunch Walther Lutheran may work under the lay a little bit here.
I think they're going to run all the time off.
Yeah, Peterson called the timeout. When I saw him earlier in the year, they did just this. Worked in the 4 corners with the big lead. Knocked away, foul.
You know, just a second ago, you mentioned a turnaround in their program. You know, Henry's been a starter since he's been a freshman, and Hill and Amaya have been 3-year starters. So with the experience they have, you know, it's no wonder they're playing the way they are right now.
They went through that lean year. And certainly have recovered rather nicely from it.
Did you see I was ready for that?
Oh, boy, great hands. Ball was headed toward our position, which sometimes can become rather hazardous here at courtside. There's a good look at Walther Lutheran's Bob Kane as the play is inbounded. Here's Kane out front. Still dogging him is Matt Morris. And Lena-Winslow has been relentless. They never let up the heat, but just haven't been able to match up with this very fine Walther Lutheran combination, which is steamrolling its way into the semifinals. Right side is Grohl. Grohl holding. Grohl looking. Grohl passing. Back out front now to Joe Johnson. Into Brian Hill is stolen. Taken away by Jess Shoemaker. Shoemaker down the floor trying to get the ball cross court to Bonnet. Intercepted by the ever-present Andrew Amaya. They have an Andre on this ball club. Andre Ingram hasn't played it yet tonight. Here's Kane holding. Off to Johnson. Johnson down low to Brian Hill. Goes to the basket. A whistle and a foul. As they sort it out.
I believe Dick's going to get some other players in there right now to give them the experience of a lifetime being on the floor here at the Assembly Hall.
Foul whistled on Shoemaker. Shoemaker leaves. Bonnet leaves. Tomorrow our coverage, the semifinal round of this tournament, begins at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Morning basketball in the Illinois State Tournament. Keep in mind, 11 o'clock tomorrow morning and 6 o'clock tomorrow night for the third place game, followed by the battle for the Class A state title. Can you pick a winner at this point? I certainly can. And we haven't seen Pinckneyville and Watsika yet. Brian Hill will go to the free throw line. Hill with 19. Amaya with 22. Leading the scoring for Walther Lutheran. They lead by 16. 57-41 with only 1:29 to play. I haven't heard how Hill is leaning collegiately, but he has been sought after by many schools. They got the second one. There's 20 points for Brian Hill. Brian checks out, and on his stead comes Vic Legner.
He's going to make someone a fine player.
Indeed he will. Now in the ball game is Andre Ingram. Ingram comes on. On the dribble, Sean Stauffer. Stauffer, right side, now to David Hoppy. Hoppy launches it. Ingram blocks it. Here's Ingram, lost it, got it back, lost it again, and Andrew Ingram just got his... Now, wait a minute. They're going to call the foul the other way. The foul is going to go against Regan Schultz for the Panthers. Regan Schultz and Ingram will go to the free throw line. Well, let's get it correct and give it to Sean Stauffer, the man on whom was called. Okay, Ed.
Ingram's 6'6". He's only a junior. He's going to be back again.
Well, starting combination.
You got Kane back again.
Yep. Free throw is up and off.
Do you feel like it's going to rain now?
He are telling us if there are any Raptors in this place, which there aren't.
I don't know. It's some dim. That might have been out.
He might have hit a few of them, right? 1:10 to go. 58-41 down the home stretch of this one, playing out the string. Lena-Winslow and Walther Lutheran driving. Banks it off the glass. Sean Stauffer, he defied that one not to go in. Hammered it as he went down the lane. 58-43. Walther Lutheran by 15. They've had this well into the 20s, a goodly portion of the evening. Here's Kane dribbling, running some clock with 46 seconds left to Grohl. Grohl, the only regular still out there. They post inside to Grohl. Grohl to the baseline. His shot banks off, no good. Rebound, Lena-Winslow has possession of it. Here is Doug Dahl. Dahl, blonde backliner, brings the ball across, being crowded out front by Randy Melton. To the baseline, feeding back inside. Power move, shot misfires. Taking the shot for Lena-Winslow was Regan Schultz. Ball is loose on the floor, rolling toward the sideline. Desperation toss with 17 seconds left by David Hoppy. No good. Down the floor.
Great pass.
Here's Grohl. Grohl couldn't handle him. 12 seconds left to go, and checking in the ball game for Walther Lutheran. Steve Belzer back in. And now leaving is John Grohl with a 2-point performance tonight.
Back to that free throw just a minute ago, you know, that Ingram had such a high arc on it. Years ago, that would be diversion and deception, trying to get the people inside the lane too early.
Yeah, the rebounder called for a fair catch, didn't he? Here's a pushing foul out front called by Jim Maroon. Jim's worked a few ball games in his time, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
To me, like he's in pretty good shape out there. He motors up and down this floor very, very effectively. Lena-Winslow foul is on David Hoppy. That's a challenge to keep pace with these teenagers, isn't it, Ed? You don't scrimmage with them anymore, do you?
Well, last Wednesday night, I went down and up and down the floor for about 2 hours in a gym.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Well, I'm proud of you.
I don't know if I'll do it next Wednesday or not.
59-43, Kane's free throw. A testimonial to the coaching life. Second throw is up and off by Kane.
Never said I was smart.
Down quickly is Schultz. He launches it and got it. Three-pointer. Regan Schultz at the buzzer. And
remember that one,
yeah, he really surely will. And your final is 59-46. As actually Walther Lutheran in the fourth quarter only scored 7 points. They were outscored 16-7 as Keith Peterson, of course, went heavily to his bench. Ed, just quickly before I run down the scoring totals, and of course we'll have more details, but your general impression of the Walther Lutheran Ball Club and their chances of the state championship. They have to be taken seriously, don't they?
I think definitely they have to be taken seriously. You know, I just said board strength and the quickness was a key thing, and they play excellent defense. And that's some of the keys that you need. And if they can continue to do that the next 2 ball games, they have an excellent chance to be playing in the final.
Occasionally, there's been a little criticism of Ryan Hill playing out of control. I've heard that up in the Chicago area, although the times I've seen him, he's been outstanding as he was tonight. But a player like that, you want him to be freewheeling, don't you? You don't dare restrict him too much.
I'd like to have a player that could do the things that Ryan Hill can do. And, you know, he creates so many things, and maybe he is out of helter-skelter once in a while, and he gets in that way. But what he does with the basketball and the eyes that he has and the assists that he makes, I was amazed at his passing. I think that's what impressed more people down there than his scoring and his rebounding.
Well, I do too, and certainly Andrew Amaya has a big day, a big night specifically, 22-point performance. He's the catalyst, though. When they get in trouble, they get the ball to him. Somehow he gets it in the hoop.
Yeah, he does a good job. They all do a good job. I was really impressed with the Walrus team. I want to say one thing about my good friend Dick Laity. I thought those kids come back and played an excellent second half. They never give up. They showed what the spirit they had. They put a lot of guts and effort out there. Yeah. And as Dick Laity always says, that you want to remember that March Madness soon becomes April fishing. So Dick is a great fisherman, and he likes to do those things. And not that I'd love to play 2 more games naturally, but they know they've had a fine season, and those kids went out in style.
Well, you know, one thing you can say about a club like Lena-Winslow, Gil Love, the great former Ottawa coach years ago, told me, he says, you can be outmanned, but you should never be outclassed. And certainly Dick Laity and his kids were not outclassed tonight. They were outmanned a bit, and that happens occasionally. But yeah, I'm like you. I salute this. There's a young guy enjoying the tournament.
No, they were not outclassed. It just showed you what kind of kids he has up there, and they just played great the second half.
Well, so you wind up the season at 26-4. That's not too bad. Walther Lutheran rolls on 30 victories and only 3 losses. What a year they have had as they move into the semifinals. Amaya had 22 to lead Walther Lutheran, and 20 points for Brian Hill. That was the 1-2 punch for Lena-Winslow, 16 for John Julius, and he was the only player in the double digits out here this evening. So therein tells a goodly portion of the story as we have it. So a big victory for Melrose Park Walther Lutheran, 59-46 over Lena-Winslow. Jim Albrecht is standing by at courtside with the guest, and let's turn it over to Jim right now.
Thank you very much, Art. With me, one of the Sweet 16 coaches here in the Class A tournament, Mr. Bill Gaddis, from, of course, the Stanford Olympia Spartans. We're going to talk about Watseka, a club we're going to see here in a minute. First of all, I want to talk about your club. They finished at 22-9. That's a fine season. Sweet 16 is a good place